Hello everybody, and welcome back to Northern Lights. That was a fun day last time, right? Our dear protagonist, not the best first day of art. No sirree, can't say that's ever happened to me. That's fine though. He'll persevere, right? Yeah. My final class of the day was college algebra, the largest yet. With over 50 students in attendance, while looking for a place to sit, I catch sight of Devon across the room and walk towards him. Oh, he's the Doberman. Hey, Dev, mind if I sit with you? It's Devon. Barely even glancing I forgot how I voiced him. Gomen, sorry, guys. Barely even glancing my way, the Doberman moves his bag out of the seat. It's been occupying right next to him, and upon taking a seat, I promptly take out my notebook and get ready for class. So, how's your first day going? Fine. Drew the short straw with my schedule this semester. Just Gen Ed classes up first. No, that sucks. I managed to find a nice balance. So, how long have you been friends with Aldrich? Devon sat upright in his seat, rubbing at his chin for a moment before clasping a paw on the padlock of his necklace. Longer than you. Oh no, is he a jealous one? That we're so close? I don't know how close we are to him. It's fine. Are we getting places with Aldrich? He do be a cutie. Though I hardly knew Devon yet, the way he stiffened up in the conversation with me reminded me of the way he acted when he believed I was a stranger, hostile, guarded, and apparently lacking an ability to trust most people. Much as I hoped I could just slip into a new friendship easily, that didn't seem to be the cards right now. However, I was committed to not giving up and prove myself worthy of being called a friend in Devon's eyes. Just a moment later, the professor walked in. All the students quieted down as class got underway. As the lecture went on, I slowly developed both a headache and frustration over having learned math was an art. What? Having to learn art for having to learn math for an art degree. I mean, math is important, so I'm told. Math has never really been my strong suit. Even if I did pass grade school math with flying colors, it's always been a struggle, leaving me feeling like I just barely passed the test each time. By the time my last class came to a close, I was thankful for my first day of lecture to finally be over, as long as only one of them had truly gone well. Art history, of course. The professor actually had me excited to learn more. I couldn't say the same for the rest of my classes, especially Drawing 101. Then just ditch it. Who needs to learn drawing? A useless skill. This is for certain. Well, I guess I'll see you around, Devon. My voice was weak, still feeling a little dejected about the rocky start, unsure how to go forward from here. Hey, you, wanna grab something to eat with me? The dog spoke softly, my whiskers perked up at his invitation, giving a nod that was a little too vigorous and exciting. Really? I'd like that. The Doberman smirked, shouldering his bag and heading straight for the cafeteria, with me in tow. After grabbing our meals, we take a seat at the quietest table we can find. Did your classes go well today? Most of them did. Drawing 101 teacher hates me, I think. Well, you are kind of overly chirpy when it comes to your first impressions, aren't you? That's fine. Did I lose my phone? Yeah, we'll leave that in. There we go. I meant to silence that. That is fine. That's fine. I'll worry about that later. I thought that ran out of battery life. Last time I looked at it, it said like 1%. So I don't know how I received a phone call. But that's okay. That is very okay. Devon chuckled, his ears flicking as he took a bite of his salad. I slouched in my seat at the sound of his laughter. Well, what about you? Or what about yours? Super boring, to be honest. I will start Japanese 101 tomorrow. I already know a decent bit, but I'm not so great at talking naturally in conversation. The class will be the one bright spot in an otherwise boring schedule. Alternatively, what am I reading? Not this script, that's for certain. I know French myself, comes with the territory in New Orleans. Devon's ears perked up fully, and he even leaned forward in his seat, watching me with puppy dog eyes. Really? Think, you'd let me practice on you once I begin my French classes. Yeah, sure. Could be fun. Could be fun. It's always fun. How many languages are you planning to take on? 6. Should give me a wide enough net to get hired as a trainee in kitchens the world over. Japanese, French, Mandarin, Spanish, German, and Italian. Heck, that's a lot to remember. And all in one semester? Pretty cool, though. Devon laughed so hard he choked on his salad, thumping on his chest with a balled fist, and wiping his muzzle clean once he got his breath back. Hell no! That's over the next 4 years, man. I don't hate myself that much. Not yet, anyway. Oh, right, yeah. That makes more sense. As we ate our lunches, I thought about how nice it was getting some alone time to chat with the Doberman. I was resolved not to be the fifth wheel tagging along in Aldrich's gang. Yet a lingering feeling of animosity lurked. I could feel it weighing down on the conversation, visible on the hint of stiffness presented in Devon's otherwise casual manner of speaking. A tigress then stopped at our table, holding a stack of flyers in her arms, eyeing the pair of us with a friendly smile. Are you two freshmen? Devon tenses up. Further, a glare in his eyes aimed at the stranger, as he definitely put on his tough guy act yet again, seemingly sparing no trust for any stranger. Yeah, I'm Cody. I omitted introducing Devon, respecting his choice to stay distant. The dog glanced over to me, his ears flicked, and for a brief moment, his defensive scowl vanished. Well, I'm Bethany? Is that what that name is? Bethany. Never met a Bethany. Oh well. A member of the student activity club, and we'll be hosting a big start of terms party in the quad tomorrow night. There's going to be live music, dancing, games, beer, you name it. It'll be a lot of fun, and you should come along and mingle with your fellow students. She offered up a colorful flyer to each of us, which I gratefully took, while Devon let out a low growl in refusal. Bethany left without another word, presumably to continue spreading the invitation. She seems nice. Whatever. Should probably go to it, though. Can hardly say no to cheap beer. Okay. Okay, Devon. Sitting a bit more upright onto the second mention of beer, I rubbed the fur on the back of my head nervously. Besides the sip of wine provided at communion, I'd never had any sort of booze. First time for everything, buddy. Well, I guess second time for everything, buddy. Getting caught by my father with an open beer can near me, let alone actually drinking, would have me grounded for a year, or possibly worse if he's having a bad day. We could invite Aldrich. Yeah, good call. When is it supposed to start? Says 9 p.m. I'll chat with Aldrich tonight. Meet up with us over by the bookstore, and we'll head over to the party together. We get to go to a party. Parties might be cool. I don't know. I've never really gone to any. The Doberman stood grabbing his bag and tray, turning to leave before glancing over his shoulder. Hey, thanks for not telling her my name. See you around, daughter. With that, he walks off. After cleaning up my tray with a new pep in my step, I headed out to catch the bus back to the video den. Ah, video den. Very good, very good. After my first day of classes, I clocked back in for a reluctant busy night shift at the video den. Busy night? Oh, okay. Now that college has started in earnest, all students were back in town, both freshmen and returnees popping into the store to obtain or renew their membership. Our promotional snack offer seemed to be working a charm. No sooner than there was a lull in customers around 9 than I had my head buried in my algebra textbook, comparing the information on the page to my notes taken that day. A paw came to rest gently on my shoulder, which jolted me out of my studies, looking back to see Vincent chuckling, giving a soft squeeze.
Hey, Pup. Got some good news for you. Had a chat with my go-to gardener. Garden center in the city. Most of what he requested, they're going to order sprouts of, and seeds for the rest. Should have it all together in time for our little bonding session.
Ah, right. Really? That's awesome, Vinny. Thank you kindly.
Think nothing of it. Now, tell me how your first day of college went.
It was amazing and terrible at the same time. Vincent took his paw off my shoulder and started going over the logbook listings every new membership we'd registered that day. It was okay. I really enjoyed art history. Drawing 101, though, oh, not so much.
How do you mean? Didn't find it challenging enough?
Nah, more like the teacher hates me. My shoulders slump, and I avoided eye contact while revealing this. Returning to my algebra textbook, with a stolen glance, I could see the wolf furrowing his brow at this.
Surely, that's not true. Could just be his style of teaching. After all, every professor has a different style. Could simply be that he has to warm up to the new class. Maybe he's a hard ass. Really anything under the rainbow.
The conversation between Leonard and me played through my head once more, and it had been all day, making me tense, feeling cold in my bones, and just a little bit panicked yet again. Looking up from my book, I grumbled a little, a small look of frustration in my eyes, and not only from how the class had gone, but at Vincent even suggesting that Leonard might just need to lighten up. Okay, but like maybe bring him a plate of cookies. Bribe him with money. Well, he didn't spend 5 whole minutes berating every other student for their art career dreams. Just me and my desire to make movies. Vincent gripped my shoulders again, more firmly this time. The sensation immediately washes the anxiety away. I let out a heavy sigh.
Just give it time, Pup. You're a talented artist. He'll come around eventually.
Or not. Thanks, Vincent. I really hope he does. Maybe the wolf was right, in that I could get in Leonard's good graces if I gave him a fair chance. Tried to find a calm in the turbulent storm. I see. Though the conversation reminded me of the thumbnail assignment, and I wasn't going to earn Leonard's approval if I let his homework fall by the wayside. Tucking the algebra book away, I pulled out my sketchbook, resolving to make thumbnails of various customers. After helping Vincent close up shop at 10, that's the word I'm missing, I headed upstairs to my apartment, plopping down on the couch, opening up my sketchbook to look over thumbnails I had worked on. Staring at each one with scrutiny that I'd even really had with my art until now, looking for the tiniest imperfection in sketches that I inherently knew weren't supposed to be perfect. Anytime I noticed a flawed line, a haphazard erasure of a section, I heard Leonard sigh, snort and grunt in absolute disapproval in my head, clear as day. Leonard constantly condescension and ridiculing of movies as a whole had me stressed over the details. I couldn't slip up in front of him again. His harsh words were getting carved into my head. not hand, head, right where my father's policing ones still lingered. So often would my pa attack my art aspirations, criticize me, berating me for not sticking to his plans. My father kept telling me I had no future without his guidance. Leonard was piling on more reason to doubt my choice, to risk it all and come here. They would both agree that I'm in the wrong to become a filmmaker after all. Maybe the best way forward for me was to be someone's prize trophy, do their bidding, and just accept I was an idiot for ever thinking I could be anything more. I wish Tobin and Liam were here. New journal entry? What's that? Journal entry. Ah, I can't read this. It's too cursive. It's too cursive. What is this? I can't. Son, infamous train robber with a steely face. Film it almost like a romance. I want people to sympathize with his reason for robbing the people trying to he's trying to protect, and the love he's lost. I'll film the story of his life, his childhood, where it all went wrong, when he was a teenager, having to protect his only daughter after the loss of his wife. By the end, I want the audience to see the lawman as a bad guy. They want Mattias to escape his impending execution. I don't know what I was doing, guys, but I hope you enjoyed. They'd set my head straight, argue that the teacher was some prick with a grudge, and affirm that my art was better than good. We'd probably be laughing about the whole thing over pizza. But they weren't here. I was alone. So far from them, and left at the mercy of intrusive thoughts, that were taking hold in stubborn weeds. I attempted to distract myself by making a small dinner of roasted vegetables and a fillet of salmon, but try as I might, I couldn't completely push the nightmarish class out of my mind. Only managing to eat half of my dinner, just wanting to get to bed and let the night carry the thoughts away. Surely, I'd feel better in the morning. However, even my night's rested ended up being rough. I kept waking up, gasping for breath, shivering, afraid, and ultimately looking over my shoulder each time, hoping Aldrich would be there, someone to hold me and make me feel safe. Feel same. My second day of classes went rather smoothly, thankfully not getting lost this time, yet the one class I truly dreaded had come to call. The other students had already gathered around the easels, showing off the thumbnail work they had completed so far. I joined in with my bundle of 15 I had had the prior day, biting my tongue about imperfections I kept noticing in them. Their thumbnails, come on, friend. Eventually, the elk with a grudge, Leonard, strode in, dressed in a red robe, carrying a few supplies under one arm.
Good afternoon. I know most of you are probably excited for your little party tonight, and I expect your full attention during today's lesson.
The elk started to circle our group, taking a moment to inspect each student's thumbnail assignment, passing out B's and some A's. That is, until he stopped by my work last, once again, leaving me wondering if he'll always be saving mine for the end on purpose.
You're spending too much time on details. Have you retained absolutely nothing from yesterday's lecture? A thumbnail shouldn't take more than a couple minutes, meant to capture only the essence and layout of your future subject.
Leonard's next words come out, practically a whisper, only for me to hear.
Not that I expect an otter to have good listening skills. C. Do better.
This guy's incredible. He had spoken the grade aloud, a firmness in his tone, seemingly to make a point of humiliating me in front of my classmates.
We will continue our lecture on thumbnails today, this time focusing on capturing the energy of a pose. In addition to your ongoing assignments of 10 per day, you will continue 2 from today's class to turn into full charcoal illustrations.
Then, without warning, the elk slips off his robe, revealing his full nude figure. Stepping onto a pedestal surrounded by easels, Leonard took on the classic pose of Michelangelo's David. The sight of the naked figure left me completely rattled, my eyes even wandering southward for a moment, taking in the true extent of his nudity. The elk had a slim physique, immaculately groomed fur, and absolutely no shame. It left me feeling sick to my stomach, the first man I saw in the buff, and it had to be that dick of an elk. It wasn't exactly my ideal first experience, now that I was trying to be honest to myself after being gay. After all, I had always gone out of my way to avoid the locker room in high school, changing in a bathroom stall for gym class, terrified that I would get caught ogling my stripped bare classmates. I knew that part of learning art involves studying the nude figure, with no clothing obscuring the subject. It was a good way to work on anatomy, but certainly never expected to have it thrust upon me so suddenly and without so much as a heads up. Scribbling a pencil was that finally broke me out of my trance. We were given less than 3 minutes per pose, the elk going through 10 in total, promptly naming each famous statue he copied. We were markedly more revealing than others. Some were markedly more revealing than others. Okay. A mimic of Hercules, being bring the most egregious in showing off every inch of the elk. Leonard didn't even bother putting his robe back on when he was done, addressing the students like that as we packed up our supplies.
I expect your chosen sketches to be presented next Tuesday, each accompanied by a brief 500-word essay on the history of the a corresponding sculpture. Extra credit will be rewarded for each additional sketch and essay.
His final words just barely left a mark on my brain. I couldn't stop staring at him, no matter how much I hated it. I so badly wanted to be someone else. Wanted it to be somebody else. Yes, Aldrich, Devon, maybe even Vincent. Definitely Vincent. Uh, let any of them be the subject of my studies. You can just ask. I'm sure Vincent is kind enough to do that. You think so? Think you'd just go into the video club and be like, "Hey, Vincent, I'm an artist. Get naked right now."
Class is over. Cody, are your skills really so lacking that you need to keep staring?
His direct accusation and raised eyebrows made my fur stiffen, shooting my eyes upward to meet his glare. Without another word, I hurried out of the art studio, clueless as to how I could ever begin to defend myself. Lit. Cody having a rough time, but a hilarious and entertaining one. So I approve. Anyway, I'm going to end the part here, everyone. So I've hoped you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.